You see, when you're chosen for something greater than you can imagine, the bullying is not going to stop. The haters is not going to stop. It's going to be a ongoing thing. And I got a story of my own for you guys. I have a story of my own. And it's funny because when people look at me, they see the handsome face, they see the nice body, right? They see how I carry myself. They see how I present myself, and they automatically judge me. They think I'm bougie. They think I'm too good, goody two shoe. When all out honesty, they don't even know the half. They don't even know the story. They don't even know the pain that I've been through. They don't even know the mental anguish that I've been through by others and mental anguish that I put myself through, right? So here's a confession. In middle school, throughout middle school, and part of my high school years, I was bullied. Yep, I was bullied. I was tall, lanky, lame, wasn't a part of the cool kids club. Yeah, that was me. I always got made fun of, right? I was called ugly. I was called this. I was called that, right? The cool kids didn't want me around. These kids didn't want me around, right? And in fairness, I was always a loner. I was always a loner because I never fit in. I didn't fit in with them. I didn't fit in with them. I didn't fit in with them over there. And that's basically how it's been my whole life. See, back then I got bullied for a different reason than people try to bully today, right? Today, people try to bully me for being who I am, being in shape, being handsome, being well put together, right? Back then, I got bullied for being a lame, being ugly, being not in shape, right? So, damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? And it's always going to be a part of your life. You're chosen for something greater, there's going to be a group of people right behind you laughing. There's going to be a group of people behind you making fun of you. There's going to be a group of people behind you trying to tear you down, right? And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you that this is what changed the game for me. This is what changed the game for me. It got to the point where, and this was before I started getting in the gym. This was before I started really, really getting into shape. This is before I really grew into myself and I I glowed up, as they like to say. I became more handsome. Like girls started paying attention, more attention to me, right? This was before all that. So right before that, I had gotten so fed up. I had gotten so sick of people, right? I ended up overcompensating, right? I ended up overcompensating. And I believe I told this story before, but I'll tell it again, right? I'm going to just tell a part of the story. Once upon a time, allegedly, there was these group of kids who broke into the house I was staying in at the time. And I had a collection of watches. I had a collection of watches. I had, some jewelry and, money and all kinds of stuff, right? And this was a relative that I was staying with. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the story minimal, right? I believe the statute of limitations is up. I believe it, but we're still going to keep it to a limit. So I had jewelry, I had clothes, I had, shoes and things I had bought, with my own money, things I had worked hard for, things my relative had worked hard for. And these group of kids, they had nothing, they were trouble kids. Uh, you could tell they were jealous kids. Parents didn't have nothing, they didn't have nothing. And this relative, right? She tried to give them some work, offered them, hey, if you need some money, you can come over here and cut the yard. You can come over here and do some yard work. You can come over here and clean up around and I'll give you some money and that'll be that, right? You should be working. You shouldn't be begging for anything. You should be working for what you want. So, of course, they denied their request. And to keep a long story short, they ended up breaking into the house. Breaking into the house, stealing all the TVs, stealing all my watches that I worked hard for, stealing my shoes, stealing my relatives' things as well, right? And taking it to the pawn shop and pawning it, right? Hold on, we're getting there. Pay attention. Pay attention. So mind you, I told you, I had gotten so fed up with people, always making fun of me, always, having something to say, right? Always looking down on me, right? I had got fed up with that, right? So understand the mentality I was in at the time. So I got so fed up, I was like, no more. No more. I'll be damned if another person try me. I'll be damned if another person get over on me. I'll be damned if another bitch try me. I'll just be damned. I was done. So push came to shove. I went to go get my stuff back. I didn't know that they had pawned it at the time. I went and got my stuff back. And it wasn't there. And let's just say, allegedly, their house got destroyed. Their car got destroyed. Things happen. And let's just say, if people were actually doing their job and found what they found what they were trying to look for, I probably would be facing probably 15 to 20 years. Probably be facing 15 to 20 years. And there's plenty of other situations that I can discuss, but I'd rather not because it's the past. But those situations and that mentality taught me something. A very important lesson. Lessons. And one of those lessons being never, ever, ever let someone trick you out of your spot. Never. See, I was blinded by rage. I was blinded by hate for those people, rightfully so. But I was blinded. I was like a bull, right? I had gotten tired of this all through middle school, all through high school. I had gotten tired of it. So all I could see was red. It was that final straw that broke the camel's back. And I was just like, no more. So first and foremost, never let anybody trick you out of your spot. Because that's what bullies do. That's what haters do, right? They try to trick you out of your spot. They want you to get out of character. They want you to do something crazy. That's what they want. And secondly, what I learned from that situation and other situations, I learned how far I can take things. And really, to me, that's the most important thing, right? That's the most important thing. And maybe you can relate to this. I learned how far I can take things with a structured mind, not just with the rage, but very meticulous, right? I learned I can be very strategic in how far I take things. And that, believe it or not, scared me. It scared me. It took me not one, but 2 times sitting in a cell to really snap up out of it and understand, right? Not one, but twice. Now, for that second time, it hasn't been a third. Because usually with the thirds, that's a strikeout. Took me 2 times to come to my senses and really think things through. You want to let people trick you out of your spot? You want to let people get you up out of your emotions? Right? You're going to allow people to get you riled up? And see, the best way to deal with quote unquote bullies and haters, right, is quite frankly ignore them. See, the thing is, back then, I didn't have all the qualities that I have now. I didn't know myself back then how I know myself now. Now you can't tell me shit because I am the shit and I feel like the shit and I know I'm the shit, right? Back then, I didn't feel this way about myself. Back then, I was insecure. Back then, I didn't have the confidence. Back then, I didn't have the character. Back then, I didn't have the structure. Back then, I didn't have the mental bandwidth. Back then, I didn't have the mental strength. But now I do. So when people make comments, haters, wannabe bullies, right? Because let's get one thing straight. I became the bully. That's just how it happens sometimes. I ended up becoming the bully. And that scared me. And understanding how far I could take things, I knew from then, oh, you're a killer. And not just one of these lunatics or a maniac or something. No, I'll sit there and draw a whole plan out and do what needs to be done. That right there scared me. And you have to see, here's the thing. Let me take a sip. See, See, only if you've been in dark places and have come out of that would you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You've had to been there. And some of you have. You've been there. And some people may have worse stories than mine. I just shared one story. I can name a few stories where I became the bully. Right? And from then on, I didn't care about what people had to say. I didn't care about little slick comments and little things that people did, right? As long as they didn't put their hands on me, as long as they didn't try to get, just plain out disrespectful, then we were good. Because here's the thing, I'm scared of me, not you, not them. I'm scared of me. See, when you know what you could do to somebody, or where you have been, what you have done to people, it changes you. It changes you. And you got to realize the only reason people are doing it in the first place because they want to trick you out your spot, because they don't want to see you shine, because there's something in you that is trying to get out into the world that needs to get out there. And they want to crush you, even if it means you self-sabotaging yourself. And that is what I was on the verge of doing. Self-sabotaging myself. Self-sabotaging myself. And it almost happened. But something clicked in my mind, thank God. Thank God I came up out of it. Because Lord knows, only Lord knows what the possibilities were. So for those of you who are dealing with some things, those of you who are dealing with haters, those of you who are dealing with, workplace bullies and school place bullies, wherever you are, as long as they're not putting their hands on you, as long as they're not jeopardizing your job, as long as they're not doing nothing outlandish, ignore them. Ignore them. See, when you're en route building yourself up, when you're en route, you're going to the gym. When you're en route, you're building up your mental. When you're en route, you're meditating and praying. When you're en route, you're building up your emotional state. When you're en route, they're beneath you. They are nothing. When you have a strong mentality, when you have a strong mental, when you have a strong heart, when you have a strong position and character, and you know nobody's fucking with you, then nobody's fucking with you. See, you only react when you feel like something may be true. Maybe what they're saying, maybe these insults are true, right? Maybe what they're saying does hold some weight, right? That's why you need to be doing what you need to do. See, back then, like I said, I'm sitting around smoking, not doing nothing, right? Trying to be the funny guy, right? because I didn't blend in with the cool kids. So I was trying to make jokes and yeah, insecurities, no confidence. But now we're here where I do have that confidence, where I do have that stability, where I do have a stable mind, where I do have a stable heart, right? And nobody can say anything to get me out of character. Now, if I want to say something, if I feel the need to say something, I'm going to say it just so I can put fear in somebody. I'm going to say it just to put somebody in that place. I'm very specific, very careful, very strategic in things that I do. But that comes from being in the dark and coming into the light. That comes from being in the light and going back into the dark again. That means coming back from the dark and going back to the light again. That means coming from being bullied to becoming the bully. Right? So you've been on both sides of the aisle. You've been in the dark. You've been in the light. You've been bullied and being the bully. Right? So that allowed you to shape your mind. That allowed you to shape your psychology. That allowed you to shape who you are. Well, at least it did for me. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. So like I said, as long as no one is putting their hands on you, as long as nobody is physically threatening you, as long as somebody is not threatening your well-being and your where you reside and how you make money, oh, we all in the clear. Everything else is just white noise. Everything else is just jealousy. Everything else is just envy, right? Especially when you know you've built yourself up, especially when you know you've done the work, especially when you know these are just fat sloppalopicus, right? Fat, sloppy nobodies who are stuck and will always be stuck where they are, and they will never improve because they don't want to improve when you know that you're better than every one of them. See, when I get to talking, I get to talking. Because I've really been there. I've really done that. I've really done. Shh. See, when you have that animal in you, when you have that, not that dog in you, when you got that lion in you, when you got that grizzly in you, when you got those killer instincts in you, when you got that killer in you, that grounds you. I'm grounded. I'm grounded. That electricity isn't just flowing everywhere and shooting off sparks, and every time this happens, boom, 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 you're just shooting off sparks. No, 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 no. We're not doing that anymore. This goes for you too. Ground yourself. Learn yourself. Figure yourself out. And you can do that without taking the route that I've taken. Because everybody didn't get second chances. So you don't want to go that route. Don't become the bully. But understand the mind of the bully, right? Because when I was bullied, I became the bully, and understand the mindset of both the bullied and the bully, right? Get to know yourself. I was fortunate enough to come out of multiple situations unscathed, record clean. And as you can see, I have no tattoos. I'm clean cut, always have been clean cut. When you look at me, clean. The way that I present myself, clean. The way that I speak, clean. And you would never guess a thing. You would never guess I have. Shh. And that's how you handle your bullies and your haters. Put in the work, ignore them because they're beneath you. And that's an after pill. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.